Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, Elevate Academy. I am so excited for this training today. Yay. All right. This training is all about energy, which is kind of ironic because I am a little bit lower on energy than normal. I was away for a conference for the social retail company that I'm partnered with. It was 5 days. The leadership summit was Wednesday, Thursday, and then the main event was Thursday night through Saturday night. So it was a long, super awesome trip. I learned a lot. I got to bond with my team. It was amazing, but also exhausting. So if I seem a little bit lower energy talking about energy, that's why. Hi, Jacqueline. Thanks for hopping on. So friends, if you pop on live, go ahead and say, hey, I would love to know what is the temperature where you are right now. I'm in Northern California and it was freezing. It was like 33, well, that's not freezing, 33 degrees this morning, which for California, we're like, oh my gosh, it's an Arctic chill, like put on the, ear mufflers and furry parkas and all that kind of stuff. So what's the temperature like where you're at? If you're watching by replay, I hate saying put hashtag replay, but I would love to see who's watching. So just show me some hearts, engage, let me know what's resonating with you, what's helpful, and all the things. So for those of you that are new, I know we have a lot of new faces in Elevate Academy from people inviting friends and teammates in. I'm Ashley Samadani, and this is my free training group. I come live every Tuesday. Previous trainings are in the units, so make sure that if you haven't already, check out the unit section, particularly Unit 1. So Unit 1 is Attraction Marketing Foundations. Everything I teach and every prong of my brand that I build is really founded in attraction marketing. And so if you haven't checked that out, definitely do. Hi, Angela. Hi, Erin. Thanks for hopping on. All right. So that's me. I have a couple of different things that I do. So network marketing is not the only part of my brand, but I do have a lot of members in this group who are part of social retail or network marketing, direct sales, MLM, and I have experienced success within that space. So I do like to train on things that will help you build your business efficiently in 2020. Okay, so if you've been around here for a while, you know I'm all about no sugarcoating, no BSing, what works and what doesn't for people that are building their success now, not 5 years ago, not even 4 years ago, but literally now, like what does it take? So let's talk about something really important, and that is how do you intentionally build your network marketing business without burnout? Because raise your hand with that little cute raised hand emoji if you have ever felt like, holy moly, I am doing all the things. I'm doing like 45 things a day and I'm feeling so burnt out. This is crazy. Like, how can I be more intentional with my time? What am I supposed to be doing, right? Have you ever felt like that? I know I have. Hi, Destiny. Hi, Angie. All right. Hi, Kasia. Yay. Awesome. So many of my favorite ladies are hopping on. Straight shooter. Yes. There's no reason to not be a straight shooter. And I'm like this with my team, but especially in here, right? You guys, my team is in here. People who are in different companies and different online businesses are in here. You guys need to know the truth, the real truth. So anyway, let's get into it. So I took some notes. I love talking about this, and I feel like, oh, did I really? I'm probably not going to tell you guys all the things that I wish I would say, or you know how that goes. I'll think of things later on. But I jotted down some notes. I jotted down 3 things that I think are super key and ways that you can build your business intentionally. And you may be doing some of these already. If you are, that's awesome. Okay, so why is it important for us to be intentional and focused with our energy? Any guesses? Okay, the most important things that you can protect in this whole world are your time and your energy. And I have to say from the get-go, I have not always been great at this. Hey, Jody. Hey, Molly. Rock stars in the house. All right, I've not always been good at this. And in fact, a couple of months back, I really had to take a hard look at what I was doing because I was starting to get into that mode of trying to do all the things and being all over the place and not keeping a schedule and not protecting my energy. And so part of the reason why I now show up here for you guys is because I decided where I wanted to focus my energy is in this community rather than being like, oh, let's do IGTV, oh, let's do, like being all over the place, right? Because your energy is what is going to attract people. We're talking about attraction marketing. If you're trying to attract people as your clients or your business partners or your followers, if you're trying to attract people and you're showing up like boo, like a total like no energy at all, low energy, it's not going to work. Energy is attractive. Energy is what brings effectiveness to whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so if you're at the gym, again, guilty. If you're at the gym and you're like kind of working out, but you're also like kind of working on your phone and you're just not really focusing on anything, you're not going to get the results that you want physically. You're also not going to get the results that you want in your business if you're never being intentional and focused on what it is that you're doing. So I want to give you some tips for how to do that and what are you supposed to be doing in this focused time. Okay. Yes, energy is so attractive and gosh, I'm working on it every day. Yes. And that's the thing. This is always going to be a work in progress. And as your business grows, you're going to have to recalibrate. As you start monetizing your social media influence in other ways, you're going to have to recalibrate. You're not always going to have the same exact schedule for the day. You're not always going to be doing the same exact activities. But what's important is that you set aside that time and realize and really make that realization that, oh crap, I have to have this like sacred space for the things in my life that are important. Okay. Whether that's time with your family, whether that's working out, whether that's your business time, like they can't all just be like this. Okay. We often talk about working in like the nooks and crannies. And I do think that that's valid, but there's certain things, and I'm going to show you my team's DMO. And in fact, for my coaching clients, for some of them, I provided them kind of a template that they work from. I'm going to show you a demo, and then I'm going to show you what it is that you need to be doing in the nooks and crannies. And then what are like the non-negotiable things that you need to be doing if you have a network marketing business that are going to be income producing activities, those things that you need to do in your power hour. The rest of the stuff you can do in the nooks and crannies. You can delegate to people on your team who are also building their businesses, or you can outsource. You can pay someone to do that stuff for you. Okay. But let's start with the first things first. Again, keep in mind, the reason we're talking about this is because your energy is precious. Your energy is, you want to be able to show up for the people that you are serving, your family, and the people in your audience and your business. You want to be able to show up for them at max capacity. So always in the back of your mind, be thinking about your energy. How can you need to know yourself, first of all, is where do you derive your energy from? If you saw my stories from, oh gosh, when was it? I was like on one. I was taking a bath and like thinking about the weekend and just started thinking about energy and the sources of our energy. And for me, it's called an ambivert. So, there's introverts and there's extroverts, and then there's people who are kind of like in between in one way or the other. And so if you're an introvert, that means, and that's me at my core, introvert, I derive my energy from solace, from being alone, from quiet. Okay, that's where I get my energy from. It doesn't mean that I don't absolutely enjoy people and love being around people, but that is draining. It's good, but it's draining, right? So I know for me, if I want to show up and be my best, I need to schedule in that alone time. I need to find ways and ask my husband, like, I need alone time. I need to make sure I prioritize that. It's not selfish. It's how you refuel. Okay. Then if you're an extrovert, you need to make sure that you are in community, you are around friends, you're going out to get coffee, you're like scheduling in that time. I have a girlfriend, one of my best friends, she is like extrovert to the core. And sometimes she'll say things to me, I'm like, gosh, that doesn't even make sense. But it does, because she's an extrovert. She'll say weekly, she needs to have like a girls' night going out for drinks or dinner every weekend. And if she doesn't, she's like, oh, my soul, it just hurts her soul, because she doesn't have that time. It doesn't keep her extrovert tank filled unless she's scheduling in that social time. So I would love to know, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Where do you get your energy? Is it introvert, where you're getting your energy from quiet, alone time, solace, contemplative thinking? That's me. Or are you an extrovert and what gets your juices flowing, what gets your energy high is being around other people and vibing off of that. Okay. Doesn't mean if you're one or the other, you don't appreciate the other parts, but it's where's your main energy source. Jessica's on, yay. All right, so introvert or extrovert, I would love to know, and I think it's good for us in this community to know too, are we more of an introverted balance or extroverted? Okay, so ambiverts, if you wanted to know ambiverts, and you might be an ambivert too, it's kind of like a combination. So for me, I have very extroverted behaviors. A lot of people are like, you're an introvert? I'm like, oh yes, but I'm not shy. I'm very confident in myself. I'm not like afraid of being in a crowd. I don't mind speaking, all of those things, but I do not get my energy from that at all. Like that's very draining. So does that make sense? And I think you can be considered an ambivert too if you have more like introverted behaviors, like you are more like shy, you are more quiet, yet you love to be around people. So maybe that's that quiet person in a room, but they're loving it. They're just enjoying being around people. They're getting filled up, but it's not those classic kind of exterior qualities that you see. Does that make sense? Destiny says I'm both. I feel like I need both of those things, but probably more so alone time, but I love going out. Yeah, so you're probably an ambivert just like me. I'm the same. I enjoy all of those things. I've always loved going out, being around friends. But if I do that for like this last week, so Wednesday through Sunday, when I was around people all the time, is a classic example of that. I was like totally zombie when I got back. It was so fun, no complaints whatsoever, but I knew, I was like, oh man, I've got to like intentionally get some like quality alone time just to recharge the batteries. Jody says, I'm 51, 49. Oh yeah, I'm right from this. I'm right from this weekend. Totally. And we really had so much fun. So our team, I have a team, and a lot of them are in this group. All of us are doing most the people that were there anyway are all building brands. We're doing monetizing influence in many different ways. We all have the social retail in common, which is really awesome. So we had an Airbnb. We got to hang out. We stayed up way too late every single night, which I got 4 hours of sleep every night, except for Saturday night, which I only got 2 hours of sleep. So this was draining in many ways, but it was very worth it. Okay, so protect that energy, figure out how you get it, and then here's another way to protect your energy. So once you get that energy and you're self-aware enough to really, prioritize that, you need to set some business hours, okay? So if you're working an online business, and again, I'm preaching to myself as well. If you have an online business and you don't have business hours, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. If you are a go-getter, which those of you in this group, if you're in this group, you're like a next level person. So you're going to burn out because you want to do all the things. You're going to just be feeling that pull to this thing to constantly be, checking messages or responding or following up all day long, right? Because it's right there. Okay. That's not good. We can't do that. It's not good for us. It's not good for our eyes, even if you have blue light blockers, and it's not good for our families because they're just seeing us like this all day, right? And a divided attention. Nobody's getting full attention because even your prospects aren't getting your full attention because you're with your family. So you got to really set business hours. So when are you going to pick up your phone? When is it going to be off or on, airplane mode, put away? When is it that you're available for your clients and your team members and your customers? And when is it that you're not going to respond? Okay. So set your business hours, and that's going to look different for everyone. It's going to look different whether if you have a team versus if you don't have a team. It's going to look different if you have another prong of your brand versus if you don't. But set business hours and communicate those business hours with your team and with your family. Okay, whoever needs to know what these business hours are, do it. So Destiny says, my fiance gets pissed at me when he's home on the weekends. Yes, yep, yeah. And so this has been, to be honest, this has been a struggle in my marriage, and why I've been really focusing the last few months on I've got to be more honoring of my own time, but I've definitely got to be more honoring of being intentional with the time that I have with my family. And part of that is, part of that's on me. I need to communicate. I need to figure my crap out, schedule things out, which I have now, and I feel really good about it. Schedule out when am I going to work and when am I not going to work, okay? Because if you're intentional with your time, you're still going to be able to build at the speed that you want to if you're focused and you're doing the right things at the right time. If you're all over the place, it's not efficient, okay? So let's talk about time blocking. Oh, shoot, there's 4 things. Ooh, no. Okay, so business hours. Business hours are super important. Time blocking. This is one way that you can really, really, really avoid kind of that I'm working all day long, I'm constantly trying to keep up with what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. That's setting time blocking. So you can do this whenever you want. I do suggest Sundays. So I've shared here before, every night before I go to sleep, what I'll do is write down the 3 most important tasks. So tasks outside of like my power hour for network marketing. 3 of the most important tasks that I want to get done for the day. And sometimes they're personal things. Most of the time I try to keep them to business. So if I'm wanting to finish a blog post, or I'm wanting to have a mentorship conversation with a teammate, whatever it is, I'll list those 3 things the night before. Sundays though, take a chunk of time, like an hour, maybe even 2 hours, depending on how much you have going on, and block out or plan out what it is that you're going to be doing for the week. So first of all, plan your activities. What are you shooting for? What are your activity goals? So you can't really, in network marketing, you can make result goals. Like you want to have this, and it's good too. It's good. I want to have this amount of personal volume at the end of the month, or I want our team to have this amount of team volume at the end of the month. I want to achieve this rank, whatever it is. It's good to have those result goals, but you can't just have those because you can't really control the results. But what you can control is the activities that you do that will lead to those results. So you can set your activity levels, and then you can control how much activity you do. Now, when you're thinking about this, you're going to be thinking about the main activities that you need to be doing to build your business. So in my team page, we have on Sundays, and I've just revamped this actually, we have Sundays activity goal setting. So we set our goals for how many conversations I used to do it per week. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So how many conversations are you going to have? Okay. And now for some of you, this might be one-to-one conversations, but you can also think about, okay, if I communicate with my audience via email, how am I going to do my email marketing this week? Am I going to have 2 different emails? Those are conversations. Or am I going to write a blog post that is, has a call to action to reach out if someone's interested in what it is specifically that I do? That's a conversation. So set those activities. How many conversations are you going to have with people online? Okay, on social media. And if you don't do any, do 1 a day. Okay, because then if that's your baseline, you're probably going to do more than that, but don't set some crazy, unreasonable activity goal for how many people you're going to talk to. Okay. Another one, how many referrals are you going to ask for? If you're not asking for referrals in your business, ooh, yikes. I don't know how that will continue to work. So hopefully your company has some sort of referral incentive or system that is a built-in thing for you. Referrals are huge. I'm going to switch fingers because this really hurts. I don't know why. Okay, so how many conversations are you going to start? That's an activity to set for the week. How many referrals are you going to ask for? And hold on. Did I just change this up? I did. Oh, well, I kind of went out of order. I guess that's okay. Okay, so 3, how many people per week or per day are you shooting to ask if they're open to taking a look at your products and or business opportunity? And again, that doesn't have to be one-to-one in Messenger, but you've got to think about that. Like, okay, how is it that I'm going to be asking people if they're open to taking a look at what it is that I have going on, whether you're focused on products or whether you're focused on business opportunity, okay? So how many people are you going to ask if they're open? How many follow-ups are you going to do? Okay, so you can control your activity in following up. The fortune is in the follow-up, and I will preach that forever and ever and ever. How many people are you going to follow up with? Customers and or prospects and or, yeah, let's leave it to that. So customers or prospects, how many people are you going to follow up with? So those 4 things, you want to set your activity goals for the week around that. Some weeks are going to be different. If you have a super busy week, like when I was in Anaheim for this conference, I was not like doing the whole time we're there because I was wanting to focus my energy on my team and on learning. So I was not trying to do this during the conference and prospect people. No, we're not about that divided attention life. Okay. So set your activity goals according to what you have going on that week. Don't disappoint yourself. Don't set your goals so high that you disappoint yourself and then you're like, oh, I'm in the shame cycle. I feel so bad. I didn't meet my goals. Like set them real low and then exceed your expectations if you have a busy week. Okay, and then on Friday or Saturday or whenever, if you meet your activity goals that you set on Sunday, celebrate. Go get yourself a specialty coffee, or go and get yourself like a special donut, or go out to pizza, or buy yourself like a lip gloss. I don't know what you want to do, but celebrate that you did what you said you were going to do as far as your activity, because you can't control your results. Okay, so time block on Sundays to plan your activity goals. And then I also suggest, oh man, I'm going to go over time here. Okay. All right. I'm going to speed up. Okay. Is that making sense so far? So who already does some sort of time blocking as far as activity goal setting? Angie says, in your time blocking, do you go as far as zero-based scheduling, or keep it simple with general blocks for certain categories? Ooh, good question. So again, this totally depends. And it's something that I'm trying to figure out for myself, which is part of why you guys, again, you see me kind of recalibrating where I'm showing up and where I'm putting my focus, because if you try to focus on too many things, it doesn't usually work out. So on Sundays, I think this is going to answer your question, Ange. So on Sundays for your time blocking, so you're setting activity goals, that doesn't take much time. That's like 5 minutes. Like, how long does it take to like think, I'm going to talk to 5 people this week. I'm going to ask 5 people if they're open to my business. I'm going to, that's like very quick. Yeah, I do all these things, but I don't block the time. Yeah, so here, let me show you what I do, you guys, because I think I used to do everything on a paper, and you can do this on a paper calendar. I personally now, what I like to do is use Google Calendar. So let me show you what it looks like. You guys are gonna think I'm nuts. So I have everything on my Google Calendar, whether it's like coaching calls that I have, whether it's, Thursdays are the day that I'm like reaching out to at least 3 team members just to check and say hey and like stay connected. I schedule everything out so I get a reminder. I'm like, do this, do that, do that. Because if you're trying to think of all those things and remember all of those things, I don't know, maybe you're a genius, but for me, it wouldn't happen. So I just I have my week blocked out. Like you can see the purple, that's my little 5-minute task planning, just where I'm planning out the tasks that I have. Sundays, I've got my little time block there, and I'll tell you what I do in there. Different meetings. So I don't have everything blocked out. Oh, there's our team call. Those of you on my team, 6 p.m. PST, monthly team call. So that's having it there. That just keeps it so I know. I'm like, oh, yep, that's it. And my husband's seen this. Like we know these are the times that I'm like doing stuff. Oh, and then if you saw in the morning, you would see power hour. We're going to talk about that. So blue is power hour. Okay. So for me, I do power hour in the morning. I'm going to talk about why I think that that's the best time to do it. Okay. But time blocking is huge, because if you're just, honestly, you guys, and I've done it both ways, literally, if you had seen me, probably almost got divorced after joining network marketing, that first company. I was literally, it was a makeup and cosmetics company, and I was like constantly working. It was crazy. And if I broke down like how much I was making per hour, it would have been like so embarrassing to even say, and lost so much time with my family, which was the whole reason that I left my career as a special education teacher and then a special education administrator. The whole reason I left that career was to spend time with my family. And then what I found was I was spending all of my time on a business that I liked, but it was not like, I didn't like it more than my family, but you wouldn't have known that from my schedule, honestly. And that's very convicting to say. But that was, when I was looking at changing companies, that was like the number one thing. I'm like, I don't have time. I lost my time, like time freedom, really time freedom. And with that business, I wouldn't have, with that business, it wouldn't have mattered how much I time blocked. It was just so inefficient, and there were no systems. There was no duplication. I was like shipping, packaging, or like I was literally like a warehouse, plus leading a team, plus all the things, plus my blog. Like it was nuts. So I had to find a model that fit in with the things that I was doing and fit into my life rather than like taking over my life. Okay. Oh man, I could go off. I'm not going to go off. Anyways, so I did find that, obviously. So it's really important to realize those things before it gets to be too late. That's one regret that I do have, is that I continue to push with that for so long. I built that business for almost 11 months. I waited too long, but I wanted to do I wanted to do my due diligence. I wanted to make sure I was trying all the things, but almost when I look back, I'm like, yeah, but was my priorities were off. My priorities were off because that shouldn't have been what I was focusing on getting right. It should have been focused on making sure I was pouring into my family and making sure that they were okay and they were doing well, because that was my whole purpose of staying home. And so I was super convicted about that, much more in alignment now, but it's still a struggle, because if you're ambitious, you need to have boundaries around your ambition, and you guys are all ambitious. So content batching. So on Sundays, the things that you can kind of batch out. So I'm just going to talk about network marketing right now, just network marketing, because if you have other prongs of your brand, we can get on a coaching call if you want. I do that. I don't usually advertise coaching, but I do coach people outside of my team. So you can always shoot me a message about that. But you can batch. So I listed some things that I personally do. So you can batch your posts. So your posts for the week. So when you're thinking about your content for the week, I have in our team's DMO the different types of posts that you can do. So once a week, a direct business post. Okay, so something directly that's alluding to your business. A product post once weekly at most. You can do it in your stories more often. Empowering, personal, entertaining, or educational posts. So you want to plan out on Sunday your posts for the week. So you've got a variety that are all on brand. No one post is the same kind of post. You don't got 2 quote posts in a row, or 3, or you've got 4 selfies in a row. Change it up. Pick from your different brand buckets, your 3 to 5. The brand is you. It's not your company. Go to unit 1 if you're not sure what I'm talking about, but you can batch out your content. I can't show you. I can show you because right here, that's not going to look. Okay, so anyway, in my phone notes, I'll have a section for week of, and here's the dates. And then I just that's a folder in my notes. And then within that folder, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you can just plug in things as you go along. So I've recommended before that if you're on Pinterest or you're on Google and you see something that inspires you, screenshot it. Even if it's a post from someone else, say in your company or a leader you follow, that you're not going to copy and paste, but that you're like, ooh, there was a piece of that's got me off on a tangent that I want to share with my audience. Screenshot that and have a little folder so that on Sundays you can kind of look through that and see, okay, yeah, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. What I like to do is when I know something is going on, like last week, I did posts that were basically building up to me leaving. I knew I was going to take a picture of me packing my clothes. I already had that in my folder for the day before. So all I had to do was when I was packing, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to take a picture to go with that caption. Boop. Okay. So think about what it is that you're doing that week. Is there anything going on that you already have, a picture you could use or a quote, and plan it out that way. So plan out your own personal social media content, and then think about too, are any of those, things that you could repurpose onto your business page? Are you going to do those on IG and Facebook? How can you kind of get the most bang for your buck? Hi, Jennifer. All right, email marketing. So plan out your emails for the week. Even if you don't write them out on Sunday, plan out time for when you're going to write those emails. Or what I do, if I have a strong, at least once a week. So once a week I send out an email to my different email list, and I just use posts that I wrote for social media and expand on them. But not everyone sees your social media posts. About 10% of your entire friends list is going to see your posts. And if it's a business post or a product post, less than 5% really truly care, unless you built a super targeted audience. But if you want people to see your stuff, start building an email list so that you can get your stuff seen. Okay. So, and most of you in this group are on my email list. So you may have seen the post that I'm going to send you guys via email and expand on. But if you didn't, don't worry, because you're going to get it in an email. Because if I think something is important and I have a message to share with my people, then I'm going to send it in an email, because there's a 40% open rate on email, which is much better odds. So keep that in mind. Got something coming for you guys. All right. Plan out your lives. So if one of your posts for the week is going to be a live, and I recommend that it is, whether or not that's in a group, whether or not that's in your incubator group with your team, which is something that I also coach on, whether that's your where else would you go? Oh, your business page, whether you're like an IG person, you're doing IG lives, plan out your live, okay? Plan out your stories. So this is big. I did last week for Tuesday training, we talked about stories and how, I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like how do people do like stories? They have like 5 to 10 stories up at all times because the content batch that you think that influencers just literally walk around all day documenting their day. No, they don't. No, they don't. They batch things all at once. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back and watch the stories training on how to kind of batch content for that. So batch a few things for your stories, plan those out. People live in stories nowadays, don't neglect those. And then group posts. So if you're in any groups and you do, if you prospect from groups, I personally don't do that, but if you do prospect from groups, you relationship build out of groups, mutual interest groups, plan out the value added content you might be sharing there. If you have, so if part of your brand is, fitness, if you've got a fitness post that's super valuable, you're giving tips on whatever it might be, and you're in a bunch of like fitness common interest groups, plan to drop those posts in those groups. Or if you haven't introduced yourself yet, reintroduce yourself on your social media. You can look at my profile picture. Look at what I put in that. I redo that every month, once a month. It's on my calendar. I tweak it slightly and I change my profile picture. I change a little bit of the wording and I repost it. I reintroduce myself because I'm constantly adding new people to my network who don't know me. And so it's a way to reintroduce yourself. What are you all about? Do that in your groups. Okay. So if you're trying to build relationships, do that in your groups too. Okay. And people are the same. You could do that once a month. Okay. You could reintroduce yourself once a month in groups. The same people aren't going to see your post. And if they do, it's just another touch. It's another exposure to them. Okay. So the content batch, I would definitely suggest doing that. It'll make your life a lot easier. I have swipe files in my iPhone notes. Literally, I have a post ideas folder. Anytime I think of, please, if you're not doing this, do this. I always forget. I need to like preach on this more often. Have a swipe file. So swipe just means something you could easily go to and it's there for you, ready to copy and paste. Okay. So have a little post section in your phone notes or wherever you organize stuff. And if you're thinking about something, so for example, when I was at the conference, I have posts for like the next 5 months, probably, from nuggets that I was hearing at this conference. So in my, post inspiration or whatever it was, I was like, each individual in that folder, I had like a bunch of individual just quotes or thoughts that I was having, or an image or a picture. And those are the things that when I'm content batching on Sundays, I'm pulling from that. I'm pulling that into my storytelling for the week on social media or email marketing. I also do the same process for blog posts. Obviously, it's a little bit different with the type of things that I need to be kind of planning out, but we're talking about network marketing. Hi, Caitlin. Awesome. Caitlin, are you new? I don't know if I've connected with you. Hi, welcome. Okay, so content batching now, power hour, and I'm going to make it this quick. What do you do in a power hour versus what do you do in the nooks and crannies? So don't get this twisted or you will drive yourself insane. If you don't have a DMO, if your upline has not given you a DMO, ask them if one exists. Okay, so definitely ask them, because probably somewhere someone has one, but it might not be in your onboarding process or your launch plan or whatever. It might not be in there to deliver that to everyone on the team, but you should have a DMO, okay, a tracker of some type. Okay, this is the one that I have for our team. And don't worry, you're not doing all those things every day, okay? And then on the back, it's like a weekly check-in, okay? Weekly check-in of number of new customer purchases, number of new social marketer enrollments, something that worked well this week, how am I going to celebrate my activity, and something I want to tweak or do differently next week, #failforward, okay? So weekly review, I promise you, so at a certain point in your business, and you may already be there, at a certain point, you may not need to fill out a tracker, okay? It might be so habitual for you, as it is for me, that you really don't need to fill in a tracker. But I will tell you, I filled in a daily, I filled in a tracker, not the same one. I filled one in for, okay, let's see. I started filling one in January, a couple years ago. Probably a good solid year, maybe almost a year. I filled them out every single day. It was awesome because I could see where my results came from, right? So if all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I enrolled like 8 people this month, what the heck? You can go back and you can notice, oh, that came from this flurry of intense activity that I did 3 months prior, because they're always on, a 90-day cycle. So whatever you do, like your results this month are going to actually come from December. So here's the thing. Most likely, so if you took December off, you were like, I'm off. Like I'm not doing anything. Most likely this month isn't going to be like the most killer month ever, right? So just keep that in mind. And it might be, there might be other circumstances in play, but I promise you, if your results are coming from activity that you did months before, okay? So sometimes you're like, well, I'm doing the do this month. What happened? Well, it doesn't work like that. It's not instantaneous. You have to consistently stay on your activities. And a way where you can see what it is that you're doing and not doing is by tracking it. So even if you don't do all the things, you can still see what were you doing and is that getting you results or is it not? Like how else can you tweak your personal DMO if you're not tracking it? I don't understand. My brain is like, how would that work? Okay. So when I have teammates come to me and say like, oh, I'm not getting results. The first thing I'm going to ask is, let me see your tracker. Like, what are you doing? Because I don't know. I honestly don't know how to advise if I can't see the activity, like what activity is happening and what's not, because that's what's happening. Okay. Are you doing your personal development every day? That's huge. Are you having conversations? I don't know. So anyway, ours is really generic. Is yours specific? Yes, it is. So that's why, so for my coaching clients, what I have ours is, this is what anyone in any network marketing company should be doing. Yes, but there's some verbiage. There's like verbiage specific to our company. You know what I mean? So it's like, the basis is the same, but some of the verbiage is different. So I have like a generic template that can be modified. But here's the thing. So for Power Hour, this is what I want you guys to do. If you have a DMO that's like this, and I just changed this for my team too, because some people were like, oh my gosh, like I sit down for Power Hour and I'm trying to do all these things. I'm like, oh no, okay, no. We're not, this is not what you do all this stuff is not what you do in your Power Hour. So the things you do in your Power Hour are, okay, first of all, I want to tell you guys something. This is something that I knew, but I was reminded of this weekend, and I was like, ooh, I'm really off. Okay, so you should be spending 80% of your time building your own personal business. If you have a team, 80% of your time should be spent building your own personal business. Okay, like yours. 20% should be spent on checking in with your team, designing campaigns, doing team stuff, okay? If you have any Enneagram 2 in you, anyone, if you're like, oh, I want to help, I want to serve, you might get that a little bit mixed up and then find yourself in your own business is suffering. You're like, wait a minute, I haven't sponsored anyone, or wait a minute, I'm not getting any new customers, or whatever your focus is on. That's because your activity is not focused on your own business. And so that was a reality check for me. I'm like, oh man, as much as I love my team, I love you guys if you're watching, but I have to prioritize my own time. So when I sit down for a focused Power Hour, the things that you do during Power Hour, those non-negotiables, are creating conversations. Okay, if you're not talking to people in some way, shape, or form, and building relationships, having connections, having initial conversations, that's not going to work. Like the rest of this won't work. You won't have anyone to ask if they're open to taking a look at what it is that you're doing. Hi, Melody. Hi, Sharon. So starting conversations, okay? And then there's a variety, like on this DMO, there's lots of ways to start conversations, but starting conversations is one thing to do during your Power Hour. Unless you have a massive network, another thing to do during Power Hour is adding people to network. So adding 3 to 5 people, maybe more, to your network daily, okay? What I see happen a lot is people with like medium-sized networks, they will neglect that, Okay, they'll neglect to bring new people into their world on IG or on their email list or on Facebook. And then after they've kind of run through the cycle of launch and they're like, woo, 8 months to a year later, they're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I have no one to talk to. Were you adding people to your network every day? I would almost guarantee that's the problem. So where people tank in network marketing is they either run out of time or they run out of people to talk to. Okay, so you need to prepare for both of those things. Okay, don't neglect that. Don't neglect to bring new people who you would really want to do business with, hopefully, but at worst you have a new awesome friend. Okay, so think of it that way. You need to bring new people in. And there's so many different ways to do that, and this is not that training, but bring new people into your network, because those are the people who, so you bring someone new into your network, like in, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of a specific example, but you're not going to like friend someone up, or you have this new friend and then all of a sudden you're like being that weirdo that's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. What do you do? Here's what I do. Do you want to take a look? No, you're not doing that. You're bringing them in. You're using attraction marketing. You are creating stock-worthy content that you're batching on Sunday, so these new people in your network see your stuff and they're like, that chick is freaking awesome. I like my business now, but hey, maybe down the line, if I'm, looking for something different, looking for an additional stream of income, blah, 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 those may be your people, okay? So if you're doing your marketing right and you're attracting the right people and you have the right type of content that speaks to the people that you are targeted bringing into your network, I promise you it works out. It works out because I've done it. So trust me on that. It all plays into each other. But add new people to your network. I don't care how you do that. I can think of like 12 ways to do that, but make sure you're doing that for sure. Don't wait until you run out of people to talk to. Jennifer Harvey used me. Yes, Jennifer, we just talked about last night. Jennifer and I have talked about the business before, but before that, we worked together. We connected on social media. I didn't reach out and like prospect her right away. Of course, I would love to work with her. That'd be awesome. And maybe we will, maybe we won't. It doesn't matter because we like one another. We're connected on social media. But when she was ready, she reached out to me and was like, this is what I'm thinking. These are the questions that I have, right? But we became friends on social media, I don't know, Jen, like 6 months ago, something like that. But if I wasn't constantly looking, oh my gosh, like this person, I'd love to connect with them. If that wasn't happening, then we wouldn't be having the conversations we're having now. So that is a great example. Okay, follow up. You have to follow up. Must follow up with people in your power hour. So you should always have people to follow up with, whether that's your customers, whether that is your, Destiny, this is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, I've got some verbiage here that's more company specific, but following up with any of your leads that you have, anyone who you've talked to about the product that you need to check in with. If you have shared your link with someone that asked for it, checking in with them, checking in with your business prospects, just following up. So you want to follow up during your power hour. That is a money-making activity. That's probably the number one money-making activity is follow up. Okay, I cannot tell you how many people, oh my gosh. It's rare. We were talking this weekend. I have a couple of my teammates were like, as soon as we talked about the business, they're like, where do I sign up? Like, I needed to be started with this yesterday. Like, totally. It was like, oh my gosh, easiest close ever. But they knew me, knew, like, and trusted me as a leader, and then also had previous experience in the industry. So when they saw what it is that I was doing, they were like, duh, we're doing this. Now, that's not typical, right? I can't tell you how many times I have followed up, even with the people who reach out to me that are now on my team, okay? Because just because someone reaches out to you and wants to know about your business, it doesn't mean it's going to be this easy, like, smooth sailing process. They're going to have questions. They're going to have hesitations. They're going to have, all the things, right? And so you have to follow up. But multiple times, literally, I don't know if Landy's on here, but Landy is one of my newer team members. I think I followed up with her. It's been like a year. Now she's part of our team and she's awesome. She's up in Canada, kicking butt. But I probably followed up with her at least once a month for like a good year. And follow up is not always like did you watch my video? What are you thinking about the business? Blah, blah, blah. It's just checking in. It's like being a friend. Like just because someone hasn't said yes yet, does that mean, oh no, you're not my friend? Like you're out of my, no, you never know what your future is going to hold. Don't burn bridges. Don't be a butthole and like cut off communication because someone didn't join your business. No, we're not about that life. Okay. So follow up, adding people to network, having conversations, asking people if they're open to taking a look at what it is that you're doing. Okay. So I don't believe in cold messaging, but I do believe that if you're doing something that works for you, do it. So however it is that you are asking people if they're open to taking a look at your products or your services or your opportunity, if not, no worries. Just thought I'd ask, if you're not asking people, or if at very least you don't have some sort of story sequence, as we talked about in Tuesday training last week, if you don't have some sort of invitation, even in your marketing, for them to take a look at what it is that you're doing, you're not going to build your business. You're not. You can't just people have to know you're in business, and they have to have an opportunity or a call to action to reach out to you. Okay. I would suggest, if you're struggling with this, if someone if you have a post like that, or you have a story with a poll, again, watch that training for the kind of business story deck series. If someone comments or likes on one of those posts, I would reach out to them, and I would just say, hey, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your love on my post. I always get real excited to share about, what it is that I'm doing. Were you just showing, support and being awesome, or would you happen to be open to taking a look at what it is that I'm, doing these days? If not, no worries, but I thought I'd ask. Like, super casual, but they liked it. They might not have reached out to you. Reach out to them. They gave you an in, okay? They gave you some sort of maybe it was accidental, but maybe it wasn't, okay? You never know. So those are the people that you can reach out to. If someone's watching your stories every dang day, they're watching your stories every day, they like your stuff, okay? And a lot of people they're interested, they're intrigued in what it is that you're doing. They like you, but they're like, well, they don't even know there's an opportunity there, right? They don't know that they could do what you're doing. They're like, that girl's an influencer. Like, I can't do that. But you were that person, right? And so reach out to them and say, oh my gosh, thanks so much for, checking out my stories. I've been noticing your name pop up. That's awesome. How's your day going? You could leave it even at that to start a conversation. Or if you wanted to really, you could switch that up and change it into a conversation, asking them if they're open to taking a look at what it is that you're doing, especially if you had a business series or something related to your business, creating curiosity around that. Okay. So asking people if they are open to taking a look at, so that's this one down here. I have, how many people did you pop the question to? And so those are the things that you do during your power hour. All of the other stuff, like birthday messages, going and commenting on people's Facebook lives, especially influencers' lives. If you're not commenting on influencers' lives with thoughtful comments, you should do that. Commenting on, people's posts, your engagement, do that in on the toilet or wherever you need to do it. Do that in the nooks and crannies. Don't do that during your power hour. Those are not money makers. Okay. Your money makers are your follow-up. Your money makers are asking people if they're open and planting that seed. They're probably going to say no the first time, or not right now. Okay. Or they might look, but they might not join your business, but you got to plant those seeds, adding people to network and starting conversations. So you can start conversations however the heck you want, whether that's by email, whether that is by replying to someone's stories. I feel like that's the easiest way to kind of create an inbox conversation. But all that other stuff, you're not going to do all this other stuff you're not going to post in your stories during your power hour. No. You're not going to be writing posts during your power hour. That's not income producing. Okay. No, it's not. So all of that stuff you can do in the nooks and crannies of your time, but do not skip out on your power hour activities. That's what's going to build your business. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. I know I've been talking forever. Let me make sure there's nothing else. I think that's pretty much it, but I hope this was helpful. Hi, Monica. I hope this was helpful to you guys in kind of narrowing down how it is that you can preserve your time and you can really build your business intentionally and not willy-nilly. Don't be about that willy-nilly lifestyle. Set yourself a power hour. Do those core income producing activities. plan out what you're going to do for the week on Sundays, or if you have a different like Sunday, if your work schedule is different, plan it out so that you have what it is that you're doing and you're not constantly thinking about, ooh, what do I need to do next? Or what, I need to do this, I need to do that. Reduce that stress, preserve that positive energy, because that's how you're going to then be able to show up energetically your best, and that is what is attractive. Okay, so your energy is what is attractive. If I showed up for this live today and I was like, guys, I'm so tired, oh my weekend was so long, but let's talk about how to not burn out. Come on, no one would even watch this. Okay, you're probably already like, oh my gosh, stop talking. But anyways, your energy and how you show up is important, and it's your job to fill yourself with it in whatever way that it meets your personal energetic needs, and then it's your job to preserve it, and preserve it first for your family, for God, for your time with the Lord, and also then for your business. Okay, good. I'm glad this was helpful. If you would like, I didn't even really think about this fully. I've been thinking about putting this up on my website, so ashleysamadani.com. I may put this up as I don't know. I might put a generic version up. Well, let me know. Let me ask you guys before I put any work to that, if you'd be interested in a generic copy. Ooh, I know. Let's do what we did last week, because a lot of you snagged, I think it was like $9 or something for my story deck template, the business story deck template, and a bunch of you snagged that, which is fun. I can't wait to see those go up. But if you'd be interested in a DMO, like a copy, like your own personal copy that you could tweak to your team and your company and all of that, if you'd be interested in that, let's just see if there's any interest. So comments, DMO below. So put DMO below. If I have enough interest, I might think about making it as like a standalone for purchase type of thing. Right now it's part of a coaching package. But I might consider making that kind of an individual thing, because I think having a DMO as part of your team and every single person having the same DMO is really, really key. So there's no confusion about what it is that you should be doing to build your business, because this is it. That's it. Okay. And obviously huge to that is creating content that attracts people, as you guys know if you're in this group. So anyways, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you guys again. Oh my gosh. So next Tuesday, tune in next Tuesday. I mentioned this before. I actually said I was going to take a week off, but I was so excited to share this with you. I didn't take a week off here, but next week, I think it's next week, I am going to be talking to you guys about something that I have coming down the pipeline that I hope you'll be interested in. I think many of you will. So I'm going to introduce what it is that I'm about to launch, and I'm so excited. I hope some of you will do this with me, because it's going to be awesome. So anyways, tune in next Tuesday if you are curious about that. It has to do with, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you. You'll see. I'll start like teasing it out and posts and stuff. But anyways, you guys, I hope you have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you soon.